Today we're going to be photographing ants in the studio. Hello, my name's Stuart Wood and today we're going to be photographing some ants in our macro studio. There's two ways that we can do this. The first way is we can let the ant onto our scene, run around and we can chase it around and photograph it. The second way is to use a little bit of honey or syrup. Sugar water also works. Put a little bit of drop onto the scene, let the ant come up and inspect it and then take the image. And that's how I got this image here. So this was taken on my old Canon 650D with the 50mm and extension tubes. So you can do this no matter what equipment you are using. The methods I'm going to show you in this video will work indoors in a studio environment or out in the wild. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you're doing, you can do these techniques on wild ants. So the first thing we need to do is to make it easier for us to get the shot. Now if you're out in the wild, you've got a plant such as this Jabroa daisy and the ants are running up and down the flower, we can go around the flower to get the shot that we want. In the studio we can't do that because we can't get behind the desk. So to get around that we can use one of these. This is a Lazy Susan. We can place that on our desk and we can rotate it to simulate us going around the flower to get the shot we want. Now we have a single ant here because they have had their nuptial flight. This is when the ants mate and breed. So this little fella is not an endangered species. He's just a normal common garden ant. He's perfectly fine. I'm not harming him, and after he's had his fill, which he's going to have a nice gourmet meal in a minute, we're going to let him go back into the garden. So there's not a very many amount of ants out there at the moment, but we do have a single ant here that we're going to use as our subject. And what we have to think about is in the studio, we don't want that ant getting off our scene and running around all over the desk. So to limit where we can go, we're going to be using some bottle lids with water filled in them. I'm going to place those on here now. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some water. This is normal water, okay? Nothing in it. I'm just going to fill it up. This may get a little bit messy, so you might want to get some kitchen toweling on the ready just in case. What I want to do now is I want to break off our Jabroa daisy and plop it into my specimen holder. Now links to everything I'm using are in the description of the video. So let's just place the Jabroa daisy into the clamp, and then each one of these feet, I'm going to extend them. Each one of the feet will go into a cup or a lid of water. Now I see so many times on YouTube and on forums where people place the flower inside a bowl or a dish with water, and you don't want to do that because if the ant falls off the flower, it's going to land in the water, and then you're going to have to do what I call a Baywatch moment, which is where you have to save the ant. This way, what happens is if the ant comes down the leg, he'll look at the water, think, I'm going for a swim, and go back up the leg. However, if he falls off the flower or jumps off, because sometimes they will jump, he's not going to land in the water because it's not underneath the actual flower. It's only on the feet of the tripod. And of course, with the Lazy Susan, we can rotate this now so that we can get to any angle of the ant. Let me quickly interrupt this video to ask you, have you checked out my macro backgrounds yet? They are great to download and print out and use as backgrounds in your macro photography. Check them out in the link below or go to stuartwood.com to purchase your copy of these macro backgrounds. Next, we are going to need a background. So, of course, I have my backgrounds here that you can get off my website if you wish to. This is an A4 printed version of one of my backgrounds. I can place that up here, have that behind. And I'm just looking at where best to place this background. We don't want the background on the Lazy Susan because we want to be able to rotate it. So we have that set up now. Again, we have the Jabroa daisy in a specimen holder. The feet of the specimen holder are inside lids with water in to deter the ant from going any further. And we have a textured card for the background. So what I need to do first of all is to take a test shot of this to make sure that my camera settings are going to be adequate. And for this we are going to be using the Canon EOS R. I am using my Canon MPE 65mm lens. This is a 1 to 5 times macro lens, absolutely fantastic. I have the Yongnuo YN24EX on here with the Crafty Bells diffuser. Now I'm going to take a picture of the flower. Okay, looking nice. Now if you don't have any of my backgrounds, and it's easy, you can just get yourself some cardboard and just paint on it like this. This will give you a suitable background for doing your macro photography. So don't worry about not having the backgrounds. So we are now ready for our model. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab our ant and I'm just going to let him go on top of the flower. Come on then. There he goes. And this is where the fun begins, because this is where you got to start chasing the ant around the flower. Now this is the method I would use if I don't want a water drop in shot, because the water drop will obviously give the game away as to how you photographed the ant. And I'm going to set my lens to 3 times magnification, do another test shot. Yep, that's great. You can see the ant is coming down the leg now here, because he wants to get off. He looked at the water, he's gone, I'm not going for a swim, and he's off back up the leg of the tripod. We're just waiting now for him to get back up onto the flower. I want him to calm down just a little bit if we can. He's tanking it, he's all over the place, he is. I'm just waiting for him to calm down a little bit now, because he's up and down, he's all over the place, which is perfectly normal for an ant. This is what they are like. They are very fast at moving. And we have him at the edge here. He was pruning himself from the look of it. Looks like he was having a wash. And what I'm trying to anticipate where he's going to go so that I can get the camera in position. Unfortunately, when he goes underneath the petals like he has now, there's no way I can get that shot. I need to wait. He's having another wash. So that pruning shot is probably the best one I'm going to get at the moment. Now don't get me wrong, okay? This isn't a quick thing. This can take you hours and hours to do. Now, if you are a little bit not quite as agile, or you use a tripod, there is another method we can use to photograph these ants. What I'm going to do is find a nice petal like this one just here, and I'm going to get some golden syrup onto this wire, and then I'm not going to drop it yet because the ant is actually by there. I don't want him to go onto it yet because I want to get the camera ready. What I'm going to do is just drop a little bit of golden syrup right there. Now when he comes back round again, have a look, he's going to run into this golden syrup, and he should keep still for a second to look at it. He's having a right old drink of that. I'm going to switch my white balance back to auto. I want to see what difference that makes. And I'm also going to increase to 4 times magnification. So again, we have to increase the power on our flash. Yeah, nice. Let's try from a different angle. Just to see if we can get colours from the background in play, if we can. I'm gutted that I missed the focusing on this image. If I'd nailed the focusing on the eye, this would have been a fantastic image. But I've included it in the video because, hey, we can't be perfect all the time. Now, let's try 5 times macro. When you get to those magnifications, I have to hold my breath as I'm going in to get it. Okay, so it appears he's had his fill. You don't get much time at all to get the shot. That was hard work because at those magnifications, you have to hold your breath to minimise camera shake. Because although the flash will freeze the scene, with such small subjects, they're moving around like this in your EVF because of your shake. But he's now on the move again. So I'm going to bungle him up now. He's had a nice little drink. This is probably the hardest part of this, is getting him back into here safely. There we go, he's back in there now. We shall release him back into the garden. But that is 2 ways to photograph ants in the studio. Again, you can just let them loose, let them run around, but believe me, you're going to be there hours and hours just trying to get that one shot. You might be lucky and get you know, a shot within 10 minutes. But generally, it does take quite a long time. If you can find an ant trail out in the wild, that's where they're ferrying food back and forward from the food source to the nest. Again, that can make for a very good shot because they're eating, they're working, they're not bothered that you're there. The hardest part is trying to photograph a foraging ant because he's looking for food, okay? That's where the drop of honey, or in this case, golden syrup, comes in handy, because the ant's going to find that golden syrup and he's going to start drinking from it, and that's when you got that opportunity of around, in this particular case, is around 1 to 2 minutes. That's when you got your opportunity to photograph the ant and get a shot of it. And again, as always, every insect that I photographed in the studio has not been harmed and has been released back into my garden. So that is photographing ants in a studio. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you're going to give this a go. Again, don't put the entire flower in water because, you know, you're going to be doing a lot of bait watching for that. You only need to just put him off from getting off the tripod, that's all. So just water under the 3 legs. I see it so many times with jumping spiders as well, where they put the whole scene in water. Don't do it, you're going to kill them. It's just not worth killing the insect just to get a picture for your social media. Again, here's the very first shot I ever did of an ant, and that was on the Canon 650D. Extension tubes and a nifty 50. Equipment doesn't really matter. It's all down to your skill. The scene setup, make the scene look good, and patience. Patience is the #1 key factor when it comes to macro photography. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you're going to try it in the comments below. My name is Stuart Wood, and again, as always, I'll see you on the next video. Hello, my name's Stuart Wood, and welcome to this video. In this video... No, don't say video. Now, if you haven't done already, then please click like and... Okay. So, you can do... So, to get round that... There's something on me. Go away. Bottle, caps, lids, whatever. That is on a laser Susan to make it easy to turn around, and then we have a background in the background. Gee, that just made no sense. So that is photographing ants in a studio. Let me know what you thought of this video. Again, if you're